Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on? Welcome back to 4Strategy Gaming, casting a game for you today between Liquid's Jinro and HappyGame. This is a Terran vs. Protoss. We are here on Shakura's Plateau, and this should be quite an exciting matchup. And I've got quite a busy day ahead of me. Starting this evening at 8:30 p.m. EST, there will be a live casted event. This is going to be the Envy Gaming Invitational with quite an amazing array of players. There's definitely going to be a lot of solid play there. I'm going to be co-casting with Mr. Thundertoss, so that's going to be quite riveting as well. So be sure to take a look at that. If you haven't heard about it already, you can head on over to my channel and get some more information about it there. I did make a video just yesterday about that, and again, that's going to be live streamed on Bonkers Livestream. So let's just get right into this matchup. What's going on right as of yet? Obviously nothing really to talk about, nothing really too exciting at this point in the game. I would have to say I'm definitely a fan of this map. I'm a fan of games on this map, and a lot of the maps in general nowadays. We are starting to see the average game push closer to that 20-minute mark simply because of the recent change in map pool that Blizzard did implement. The latter games specifically, much larger, much more macro-friendly, and it's definitely something that I do quite enjoy. We can see Jinro placing his barracks there near the front of his base, so might be using that for some relatively early aggression as opposed to the typical placement in the center of your base or closer to your command center. That way it's easy to protect when you do get pushed out against. He may as well also trying to be going for a little bit of a fast expansion, so having that barracks up front for quick reinforcements to the natural is going to be, of course, quite beneficial as well. We can see right now Jinro moving around and probably going to be scouting that bottom left position first, so both players scouting the incorrect positions, but that is going to immediately tell them where their opponent is, because of course here on Shakura's Plateau you cannot spawn directly across from your opponent, so there is no way that Jinro could be here against HappyGame, and there's no way that HappyGame could be here against Jinro. So right now both players in scouting the one position know exactly where their opponent is, and now it is just time to move in and find out what the heck is going on. And with that said, let's take a look at what the heck is going on. We can see Jinro no gas at this point. His opponent over here, HappyGame, sitting with just that one assimilator, but with no gas right now for Jinro. That tells us that Expo is coming, and here goes that SCV. So I was in fact correct. This barrack was placed here for some quick reinforcement to that Expo, and you can see Jinro with that first Marine was actually able to shoo off that probe, denying that gas scout. So right now there is no clear advantage or clear knowledge from HappyGame as to whether or not Jinro is expanding. Now once he tries to push in again and he sees the Marines right here, that itself is going to be a telling sign of that Expo. Now we can take a look over here inside of HappyGame's base. Jinro is just going to be happily moving around until that first Stalker and or Sentry makes its way on out. Now after this pass, he is likely going to want to head out because it is very probable that that range unit is just about to pop, and he's just dancing around. He does not care at this point. He's going to stay as long as possible and try to deny the placement of that last building, but there it goes. Gateway does go down, and he actually doesn't catch it. So nice timing there by Happy. He managed to place that right when the SCV was out of vision. We can see that bunker coming down right now for Jinro. Still just sitting on that one barracks, coming out with two additional ones right now, and still no gas for him, so hasn't quite yet gotten ready to get that refinery. Obviously at this point going to be switching into a barrack heavy build, and there's another barrack going down, so as soon as he does get up gas, going to be seeing the tech lab, and probably stim pack research will be going down first. With that bio heavy build, he's obviously going to want that stim pack out. SCV forced to pull away and going to be headed back home, and here we go. That Expo has now popped. Going to be seeing that transfer of workers right on over, and there goes that first gas, and it is quite possible that he's just going to stick to that one refinery for quite some time, because I mean honestly that's all he's really going to need with this barracks heavy build, especially if he's going super marine heavy, which at this point in the game he clearly will. Taking a look over here for HappyGame, we do see he himself is going for that Expo, in fact going for that 3-gate Expo. Quite an effective and popular tactic that you're seeing a lot of players do nowadays. HappyGame a little bit concerned about the possibility of a Reaper having some sentries here on the backside, wants to prevent that Reaper from hopping right on into his base. And he would see it over here too if it tried to come in from this direction. So look at that sentry placement for that. There you go. So definitely preparing himself to deny any Reaper scouts. So he doesn't want him to see that he has been going for that 3-gate. So nice placement there by HappyGame of all of his units. Taking a look over here inside of Jinro's base, still sticking to solely Marines, and a tech lab's coming down. And there is that second and third. Oh no, that's an engineering base. So just a second right now. Just a second refinery. Not going for any refineries here at the natural. Obviously both players going to be continuing up and pumping out those workers at this point. Obviously, going for that fast expo, really want to work hard on that worker count so you can try to get decent saturation at both bases. Otherwise, there's no point in that expo. Missile turret going up, and that is some excellent placement there, because very likely that when that first observer does hit, it's going to be moving right in that direction. So hopefully trying to catch him off guard, hoping that he gets HappyGame in a position where he's not looking. And let's take a look at where that is. Look at that right there. The robotics facility right in the path of that missile turret. So if he just lets that float along, it is going to get spotted and then sniped down by all of these Marines, maybe a couple shots by that turret as well. So great job there by Jinro. Obviously some really good positioning there. And look, we do have 2 refineries coming down, 1 tech lab as well. So still going to be pumping out Marine heavy. There goes that observer. I'm just looking at stupid stuff because there's nothing to talk about right now. I'm sorry, guys. It's killing me too. The armor upgrade making its way on out before the weapons upgrade. So going to be going strictly for that armor upgrade, increasing, of course, the durability of his units. And do we have any transitions or anything of the sort coming? No, we do not. Jinro is coming up with a few upgrades. We do, of course, have that stim pack and the weapons level 1 coming out for his ground units. And let's see if that observer did get sniped. No, it did not. Manage to move right out of the way. So luckily for him, and he actually, that was completely by luck because he doesn't even see that missile turret. So he had no idea of that. And is he still going to see it? No, but he is going to scout the expo. We do have one Marine pushing forward. Going to be trying to take down that probe scout, get him away from that Zelnaga because he doesn't want him to see this encroaching push. So nice job there by Jinro, pushing forward, denying that scouting vision of the Zelnaga, and then moving forward with the bulk of his army. I would have to say that's something that not enough players do. You always want to push forward with a forward unit to try to get anything off of that Zelnaga tower. For that very reason, you don't want him to see that army coming before he needs to, basically. And look at this, some nice sentry placement. Hopefully he can land those force fields. Otherwise, he's actually going to be in a bit of trouble. I don't think he knows at this point the army is there. He does see that one, but here comes a spread right now. Going to get some guys on the low ground to try to do some sniping once he gets vision of the high ground. And here comes a push right now. He made him fully aware of that, though, by moving in that position, then dropping that scan. So unfortunately, Jinro wasn't able to capitalize, and of course now with no destructible rocks, but he can still sneak some units in, and that is what he's going to be doing, and he manages to get them all in, and this is not looking good right now for HappyGame. This is going to be a lot of damage. He does manage to force field him into the corner, though. Zealot's going to be making quick work of all of those units, so unfortunately for Jinro, it didn't work quite as well as he would have liked, but that could have been absolutely devastating. Unfortunately, though, getting pinned in that corner, the Zealots were able to just mop up all those Marines so very quickly. And it looks like we may actually be seeing a counterattack right now from HappyGame, looking to capitalize on that slight advantage. We did have that bunker salvage, so no frontal protection here for Jinro. He's got his army rallied right into the middle, though, and that would definitely be able to mop up this force. So HappyGame going to be retreating back into his base. We do have those charge lots coming out, so may very well just be waiting until that point. Also, that level 2 armor upgrade making its way on out, and some more gateways. Very, very gateway heavy. Not going to be going for Colossus Tech in this game. Wouldn't be too surprised if we saw him make that transition into some High Templar at some point in the near future. We can see right now HappyGame coming out with this expo, but some nice scouting here by Jinro. Manages to catch that, and he's going to be able to take care of that. Now HappyGame trying to pull out his forces. Looked like he was moving down to try to reinforce, but he would, of course, need to be very concerned about a big push on his natural expansion. If that did happen, Jinro could just walk right into his natural without any problem. And scouting that expo, Jinro is just going to be dropping an expansion himself. He wants to make sure he, of course, does not fall behind. And look at this, warping in a lot of Zealots, and this poor Marine gonna get dropped very, very quickly. And here comes the push right now from Jinro. Jinro moving up to the backside. HappyGame has quite a bit of forces right now. Jinro does, of course, need to be careful, especially with those charge lots in play. And here comes that engagement. Charge lots charging forward. Guardian Shield going down. Stim Pack trying to do as much cutting as possible. Charge lots making that a little bit more difficult, but again, that charge doesn't last forever. Nice force fields going down. Does manage to catch a few of the units, but also protecting a bunch of these in the back, and being so Zealot heavy, he's actually taking heavy losses. Some nice micro here from Jinro, staying away from those charge lots. Some units still back here safe and managing to fire, and Jinro manages to mop up all of the forces of HappyGame. And this just goes to show you exactly what can happen as Protoss against Marine Marauder if you do not have Colossus in the mix. Charge lots were just not enough. With some proper micro, Jinro was able to take care of those without pretty much any problem whatsoever. We do have some pylons placed over here, although that's not going to be quite as effective anymore without these back destructible rocks. But another engagement going now. Charge lots swooping forward. Jinro not paying quite enough attention that time, and actually took heavy losses to those charge lots. So I guess that is the big issue, is that if you're not paying enough attention to those charge lots, even having a few moments on your units is going going to be more than enough. So I'm getting some guys in the high ground now, trying to get a few extra shots. Unfortunately, yes, he is. He's going to get a few shots here for free, and this is not good. HappyGame needs to pull back right now. There's nothing he can do at this point about these guys up on the high ground, and Jinro knows that, so that is exactly why he dropped him right there. Let's take a look over inside of the base of Jinro. What do we got going on? Still pumping out. Very barracks heavy. We do have some additional tech labs and another reactor as well. So going to be trying to maintain a healthy mix of the two. Ghost Academy coming down. Going to be seeing some Ghost in play. Obviously going to be very, very effective. And we do actually have a switch right now for HappyGame into Colossus. That robotics bay is being dropped right now, as well as a second robotics facility. So going to start to see some Colossus come into play. And this is not the best situation for Jinro right now, because he is making that transition to Ghost and not Vikings, and that exactly is why it's going to be a problem once those Colossus hit the board. Small little drop right now for Jinro. Needs to be careful though, picking up just in time. Does get one of his medevacs sniped down though. Second one does manage to get away. He took out a pylon in that engagement. I don't think it was worth it, but look at this at the exact same time, dropping in the main. Gonna try and drop this pylon if he gets it in time. No, he does not. Zealot's moving in and gonna need to pick up his guys and try to stay away. Those are so many Zealots, and the fact that they're charge lots do make it a little more devastating. Trying to micro up those Marauders, and I think it's actually gonna be enough. Doing a good job of picking up the Marauders, dropping them down to do some damage, but no, the Zealots a little bit too durable, a little bit too hardy, and not actually able to work through them. He does manage to make us a little bit, couple of his units survive, but needs to watch out for those Stalkers picking up to the high ground, and they have blink, so that is not good whatsoever. Having vision up there, we're able to blink right up and take out these guys. Seeing some continuous micro here though from Jinro, trying to make this guy survive as long as possible. That was absolutely hilarious, to be honest with you. I'm surprised that worked as long as it did, trying to get as much extra damage in as possible. Heavy saturation of this planetary fortress expansion, and lots of Marines and Marauders pumping on out. But again, do we have that transition to Colossus? I thought we did. A little bit of a supply block though, so that will be happening at some point in the near future. No thermal lance right now at the moment either, though. We do have this fourth base coming up right now for HappyGame. So HappyGame having his third saturated. Jinro himself also coming up with his fourth right now. And here comes a engagement in the middle. And this is looking very good for Jinro right now. Those Colossus still not in play, not in the engagement. Let's take a look at that army tab in comparison. We can see HappyGame pretty heavily behind. 55 army supply as opposed to the 80. But here comes an attempted engagement. Needs to be careful though. Stim going down with some proper micro. Jinro is going to be quite fine. Needs to just move, shoot, scoot and shoot or something along those lines, and it's going to work very, very well, be incredibly effective against all of these Zealots. And look at how quickly they do get dropped, and those Stalkers would follow shortly thereafter, but blinking away. Those are going to try to head back home, and another drop coming down from Jinro. Jinro keeping up this drop harassment, going straight for those cannon. Needs to be careful about those Zealots. So here they come, and nice micro, picking them right up, going to drop them in the back. But here we go, Stalkers coming into play, but Stalkers moving in the wrong position. They do a blink though, so going to be dropping right down and taking them out very quickly, going straight for that medevac first, denying any retreat here from Jinro's units. And Jinro right now just needs to do as much damage as possible, pushing from the other angle as well. And this Expo is looking to be in quite a bit of danger. Heavy push coming down from Jinro. Some more micro away from those Zealots, and I think he's going to be able to knock them up. No, there are quite a few Zealots here left. Needs to pay enough attention to pull these guys back. Here we go, another stim pack going down. It looks like he may have these Zealots. Going to try to push back in at the same time, pushing in on the fourth of HappyGame. HappyGame is in a very bad position right now. Colossus on the board, going to get sniped down though. Is it going to manage to drop? No, it doesn't. There is 34 HP left on that Colossus, but look at this. HappyGame did just lose his fourth. Came very close to losing the third expansion over here as well, but managed to defend it just in time before they actually started hitting the base itself. Either way, though, with some great diversion tactics, Jinro did manage to take out that fourth. Incredible play by him. We've just seen constant harass, constant drops from him. We do have some more medevacs making their way across the board. Haven't seen those ghosts come out. I don't think that those are in play. I may have missed the production. No, it looks like he just hasn't built them. I'm going to maybe saving them for a later day. Of course, he does know Colossus are on the board right now, so probably going to want to start to make that switch. There we go. We do have that starport, two of them with reactors, in fact, so getting some Vikings into play right now is going to be a good idea. Trying to move forward again into this third. Going to be doing as much economic damage as possible. He's going to lose his forces, though. Lots of Colossus moving forward, but he's just trying to kill as many probes. And HappyGame, please attack. There we go. So attacking the units of Jinro. That drop finally, or that attack finally thwarted. And are we going to be picking up those few guys and moving? No, we're going to be picking up some of these guys. And here we go. We're going to see continuous dropping action here. Two command centers coming down over here, as well as a few more barracks, some reinforcement barracks, also allowing them to pump out quite a bit more forces, and another barrack coming down over here as well. Jinro may very well be trying to take these two expansions, and that certainly wouldn't be the worst of ideas. And here comes another push from him, again, trying to deny this Expo. This harassment of Expos has been absolutely huge from Mr. Liquid's Jinro. This is one of the biggest things that you need to do in any of your games come the late game. You need to stop expansions, whatever it means. There are so many different methods, and we do have this other dropship getting ready for a sneak attack at some point in the near future. Any of you guys ever play Magic? Sneak attack was the bomb. That was such a baller card. I made so many sweet decks focused around that card, but we are not playing Magic the Gathering right now. We are playing StarCraft 2, and here comes that drop, a sneak attack, if you will, but need to be careful from that photon cannon, taking a few shots. Marauder is going to be able to drop that quickly, though, and there we go, but a big push coming down from HappyGame, moving straight across the middle. There are not enough forces here from Jinro. Jinro needs to be very careful about positioning and trying to snipe. At the same time, we do still have this drop going down. That is being thwarted by Zelton. Here comes that big engagement. Colossus need to get dropped. Some good sniping there from the Vikings. Need to target fire those down as quickly as possible. Those Stalkers are going to be very susceptible to the Marauder fire if he can drop the Colossus, but no, 3 Colossus still on the board right now. Not quite enough forces right now. He's going to start taking fire from those Colossus, and all of these Marines and Marauders are going to get roasted, but look at how quickly the Stalkers drop, and with the Medivacs, he's going to be able to continue to pressure, and wow, HappyGame lost a lot more than I expected him to. Some great play there by Jinro, and losing all of those Stalkers. Like I said, without those Colossus, those Stalkers are so susceptible to that fire. Vikings going to be pushing forward and taking advantage of these free kills. Seeing another drop go down from Jinro, trying to deny this expansion. I think he's going to get it in time, and he does. Right before the units warp into HappyGame, he drops that Expo. HappyGame is in a very bad position right now. He has not been able to expand. Jinro, with this continuous harassment, these continuous droppings, that sounded really funny, the continuous dropping action from Jinro, and being able to consistently expand himself has put him in an incredibly advantageous position. Take a look at that discrepancy in resources right now. The mining completely one-sided to Jinro. Jinro, again, in a tremendous position at this point in the game. But Jinro in just a tremendous position, absolutely incredible. He's just set himself up for success definitely here. Moving forward right now, needs to be a little bit careful, not microing away from those Zealots. Obviously not paying quite enough attention to that attack, but that is not the biggest of deals, and looks like he's going to be taking out another expansion again. So just HappyGame has been on his back foot this entire game. Here we go, finally streaming forward, lots of charge Zealots there. We have a few Colossus. If we can get those sniped down, he'd be in a really good position. Still lots of Vikings here, and those are free kills right there. Not enough Stalkers to take those out, so those Vikings are going to be dropping those Colossus very quickly. Colossus are in fact dead, and just pick up those guys and head back home. That in and of itself is a small victory right there. Another drop going down in the main. What is he going to be for? Going straight for the production buildings of HappyGame. Going to be trying to knock down these gateways if at all possible, rallying some of his forces straight to the middle there. Still pretty secure, all of his Expos. There hasn't been much cause for concern for him at all. Going to be going straight for this pylon. Look at that, unpowering 4 gateways. So now, right now, HappyGame's going to be forced to pull down and get another pylon there if he wants to make any use of those. Another big engagement coming down the forward, but with no Colossus on the board, it is not looking good for HappyGame. In fact, Jinro even landing down the Vikings, and there we go. There is the GG from HappyGame. Amazing game between these two players. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Unfortunately, I don't think I do have time to come out with any more videos for today. Just getting a bunch of stuff ready and prepared for the tournament this evening. But again, at 8:30 p.m. EST, I'm going to be casting the Envy Gaming Invitational with Thunder Toss. And again, if you want more information on that, just head on over to my channel. There's a video with links to the live stream that's going to be taking place on, as well as all the players that are going to be involved. But it's going to be an awesome event. Hopefully, I will see some of you guys there. And as always, guys, if you like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Keep watching and keep owning.